Good morning, students. Our subject is Water Resource Engineering 1. We are in Unit 5, but this is the last topic in Unit 5. Our topic name is Yield of a Open Well Recuperation Test. How to determine the yield of an open well? Guys, here the yield of an open well can be found by the following two practical methods are yield test 1, constant level pumping test 2, and the one is constant level pumping test. Number 2 is the recuperation test. So guys, the yield means the capacity of the water from the bore well. The yield of an open well can be found by the following two practical methods or yield test. One is constant level pumping test. Number 2, recuperation test. Constant level pumping test. So guys, before starting to this, I need to incorporate some more knowledge to constant level pumping test. Here, the large diameter wells dug down to the water bearing strata are known as the open wells. So what is the open well? Large diameter wells dug down to the water bearing strata are known as the open wells. They drive water from the formations close to the ground surface. Thus, open wells are always shallow, with depths not exceeding 10 to 20 meters. The large size of the open wells always allows the storage of large quantities of water in the well. The side walls of the open well are unusually lined with stone masonry, and the water finds entry into the well only from the bottom. When the pumping is not taking place, the water level in the well is same as the general water table level in the surroundings of the well. When the pumping is taking place, the water level in the well is depressed, and the difference between the water table level and the water level in the well is known as the depression head. The rate of flow into the well is proportional to the depression head. Thus, Q is proportional H, or Q is equal to K. H where Q is the rate of flow into the well. H is the depression head, and K is a constant reflecting the characteristics of the formation surrounding the well. When the depression head is large, it may cause the disloading of soil particles due to high velocities accompanying it. The depression head at which this happens is known as the uh, critical depression head. Normally, the safe depression head is also known as the working head is taken to be one third of the critical depression head. The yield of the well corresponding to the critical depression head is known as the maximum yield or the critical yield, and the corresponding to the working head is known as the maximum safe yield. If the water is pumped out under constant depression head equal to the working head H, the safe yield is given by Q is equal KH, and Q is equal K by A into H, or Q is equal C into A dot H, where C is equal to K by A is known as the specific yield or the specific capacity of an open well. It has dimensions are T power minus 1. A is the cross-sectional area of flow into the well at its base, which is taken to be equal to 4 by 3 times the planned area of the well due to cavity formation at the bottom. So it can be used to estimate the safe yield from an open well provided the working head, the size and the specific yield of the well are known. The specific yield of the well can be determined by the recuperation test. The safe yield of an open well can also be determined by the pumping test. So here guys, constant level pumping test. In this test, water is pumped from the open well. In this test, water is pumped from the open well so that the water level in the well is depressed by an amount known as a depression head or drawdown, as shown here in figure. The rate of pumping is then so adjusted that the water level the, the water level in the well remains constant. In this condition, the rate of pumping will be equal to the rate of yield from the well at this depression head. The rate of pumping of water is measured by a shootable discharge measuring device. Guys, here pumping test, it is an accurate method of determining the safe yield of an open well. In this method, the water level in the well is depressed through large withdrawals of water till the working head is reached. At this stage, the discharge from the pump is regulated so that the rate of withdrawal equals the rate of inflow into the well. That is, a constant water level is maintained in the well. Under this equilibrium condition, the volume of water pumped out in unit time gives the safe yield of the well. The safe yield is usually expressed in meters cube per hour. So guys, here I will explain the diagram. So guys, you observe the figure here. So guys, what we observe in this test, water is pumped from the open well. In this test, water is pumped from the open well so that the water level in the well is depressed by an amount known as the depression head or drawdown. Guys, this is the SWL. Here guys, I will explain the figure. This is the ground surface and this is the water level. So before drawing, when we face the or when we touch the water level, that is called the SWL. Here SWL means static water level, and also when we started the water drawed from the well, after some time obviously we can get some reduced level. That reduced level is nothing but the depression head. So this is the starting static water level, this is the depression head, this is the ground surface, and this is the well where aquifer water supply to a large well. So guys, the rate of pumping is then so adjusted that the water level in the well remains constant. In this condition, the rate of pumping will be equal to the rate of yield from the well at this depression head. The rate of pumping of water is measured by shootable discharge measuring devices. So this is called the constant level pumping test. Then it thus, if Q is the rate of yield or discharge at a depression head, H and A is the area of flow section through which water enters the well, which will be equal to the cross-sectional area of the bottom of the well. If the lining of the well is impervious, then from Darcy's law, Q is equal to KAI or Q is equal to KAH by L or Q is equal to CAH. So guys, here where C is equal to K by L is percolation intensity coefficient. This is a constant of the formation around the well. Its value is greater for coarser soils and smaller for finer soils. The value of C may be determined if Q, A and H are known, and the same may be used to determine the rate of yield from the well for any other value of the depression head by using equation. Thus, for a constant depression head H, the rate of yield from a well is given by here. So Q is equal to CAH. In case a cavity is formed at the bottom of the well, then the area A is taken as 4 by 3 times the cross-sectional area of the bottom of the well. This is so because if no cavity is formed at the bottom of the well, then A is equal to pi d square by 4, where d is the diameter of the well. On the other hand, if a hemisphere cavity is formed at the bottom of the well, then A is equal to pi d square by 2. Since the area of the actual cavity formed is in between these two values, the value of A may be taken as the mean of these two values. Thus, A is equal to 1 by 2 pi d square by 4 plus pi d square by 2, that is equal to 4 by 3 into pi d square by 4. It is clear from equation 4.8, it is clear that the discharge increases with the depression head. However, the depression head cannot be increased beyond a certain critical value because otherwise the velocity of water percolating in the well will be excessive and the soil particles will be disturbed and dislodged. The critical value of H at which the percolation velocity is critical is known as critical depression head. Normally, the depression head is kept equal to 1 by 3 of the critical depression head, and it is known as the working depression head. Maximum yield or critical yield of a well will therefore be obtained corresponding to the critical depression head. The yield under the working depression head is known as the maximum safe yield of a well. From the constant level pumping test described above, the maximum safe yield can be determined. Recuperation test. Here guys, uh, recuperation test, this is not as accurate as the pumping test, but is restored to when it is difficult to regulate the pump to maintain a constant level in the well. In this method, the water level in the well is depressed to some level below the normal water table level, and the pumping is stopped. The water level in the well starts recuperating. The time taken by the water to rise to some other level is noted. From this data, the specific yield of the well can be found out as explained below. Here, guys, here let the water level be depressed by H1 and through pumping. After a time of T hours, let the depression head be H2 meters. Let H be the depression head in the well at a time T after the pumping stopped. Let DH be the change in depression head in a small time interval of dt, where flow into well Q into Q dot dt is equal K into H into dt. Volume change in water content of the well minus A dot dH. The minus sign indicates that H decreases as T increases, equating these two. So guys, the recuperation test through the constant pumping test gives accurate value of safe field of an open well. It is sometimes very difficult to adjust the rate of pumping so as to maintain a constant level of water in the well. In such circumstances, a recuperation test may be adopted, which is described below. In the recuperation test, water is pumped from the well so that sufficient depression head is developed. The depression head is measured and the pumping is then stopped. The water level in the well will start rising. The time taken by the water to come back to the initial static level before the pumping was started or any other measured level is then noted. The rate of fill or discharge may then be determined as indicates below. With reference to figure, this is the ground surface, this is the static water level, uh, this is the static water level. Here H2, this is the C, this is the DH, this is the BD, this is the recuperation test. Let AA is equal static water level in the well before the pumping was started. Here guys, AA, guys, this is the line AA. This is letter AA is equal static water level in the well before the pumping was started. Here BB water level in the well when the pump was stopped. Guys, this is the AA static water level before starting the pump. Here after stop the pump, this is the BB water level. And H1 depression head in the well when the pumping was stopped. Here guys, this is the H1, this is the depression head when pump was stopped. This is the H1. CC water level in the well at some noted time T after the pumping was stopped. Guys, this is the CC water level in the well at some noted time T after the pumping was stopped. And H2, guys, this is the H2 depression head in the well at a depression head in the well at a time T after the pumping was stopped. After pumping was the stopped. So H is equal depression head in the well at time after the pumping was stopped. Here guys, H is equal depression head in the well at a time after the pumping was stopped. DH is equal decrease in the depression head in time dt. Thus, in time t, after the pumping was stopped, the water level in the well recuperated by H1 minus H. It again recuperates by dH in a time dt after this. Volume of water entering the well when the head recuperated by dH is equal dV is equal to A into dH, where A is equal to cross-sectional area of the well at its bottom. Again, if Q is the rate of recharge into the well at time t under a depression head H, then the volume of water entering the well in a time dt is dV is equal to Q dt. Q is proportional H, or Q is equal to KH, where K is a constant, the value of which depends on the type of soil at the base of the well through which water enters the well. dV is equal to KH into dt. Equating the values of dV given by equations 1 and 3, we get KH dt is equal to A into dH. The negative sign is introduced because as time t increases, the depression head h decreases. From equation 4, we have dt is equal minus a dh by kh. Integrating both sides of the above equation between the limits t is equal to 0, h is equal to h1, and t is equal to t dash, h is equal to h2. We get delta the function 0 to t into dt is equal minus a by k into function h1 h2 dh by h. T naught is equal minus a by k log e h2 by h1. Here k by a is equal to 1 by t 1 by t power 1 log e is equal to h1 by h2. K by a is equal 2.303 by t naught log 10 of h1 by h2. Since h1, h2 and t are measured in this test, the same are known, and by introducing their values in equation 4.9, the value of k by a can be calculated. K by a is known as the specific yield or specific capacity of an open well, which is defined as the volume of water that percolates into the well per unit time for unit area under a unit depression head. The value of K by A is usually expressed in cubic meter per hour per square meter of area under 1 meter depression head. The approximate value of K by A for different types of soils as indicated by merit are given in table 4.2. Here guys, values of K by A for different soils. Here K by A meters cube per hour per meter square of area under 1 meter depression head. Clay is equal to 0.25, fine sand 0.50, coarse sand 1. Knowing the value of K by A, the rate of yield or discharge Q from a well under a constant depression head H may be determined as follows. From equation 2, we have Q is equal to K by H, K by H, or Q is equal to K by A into AH. Q is equal to 2.303 into AH by T naught log 10 H2 by H1. So guys, it may however be noted that in equation 4.10, if time t is in hours, then Q will be in meter cube hour. And if t is the seconds, then Q will be in cubic meters. So further, if H is the maximum depression head, then the corresponding value of Q obtaining from equation 4.10 will be maximum yield of the well. However, if H is the average depression head, Q will the average yield of the well. Thank you guys, all of you for your support. So we completed the unit 5.